Hey there, Coach Growers community. Carissa here. And I want to share one of my absolute favorite books with you today. Now, this is not probably a book that you're expecting. This isn't a New York Times bestseller business book or personal development book. This is Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. And there's a lot of reasons this is one of my favorite books. But one reason is because my mom, when I was a little girl, in fact, this is my original copy of this book. You can see I wrote my name in it when I was really young. I looked at the print date of this particular copy. It was 1987. So this, you can see the book's actually falling out. This is my special copy. And my mom gave this to me whenever I was a little girl. And she read this to me every single night. And she worked endlessly. She worked a full-time job. She was going to school to get her master's in the evenings. My dad was not around during that time. And so it was very, very hard on her. And oftentimes, the only time that we would have together would be in the evening when she was tucking me into bed, and she would sit down next to my bed and she would read this book to me. Out of all the books that she could read, she chose this one. And my mom was like that. She was very, very particular with the books that she read. And this was her absolute favorite kids book to read. And so she shared that with me. And, as a kid, I'm sure you're familiar with the story, but this entire book, the whole story, is about Sam, trying to get, this gentleman here, he doesn't actually have a name, to try these green eggs and ham. Hey, Belden, what's up? And so this whole story is about this, and it's about him avoiding. It's about him saying no to these green eggs and ham, right? This entire story until the very, very end where he's finally like, okay, fine, I'll just try it, And whenever he tries it, he realizes he really likes it, right? But the entire book, up until the last couple pages, is him avoiding it, him just saying no to it, right? And he realizes that he went through this whole thing really for nothing, right? And so, again, I know I'm not a normal, adult entrepreneur. This is one reason why I write kids books, because I love them so much. But there's such a powerful story here. And as a kid, of course, I loved like the green eggs and ham, like the silliness, right? Hey, Victoria and Oksana. I love the silliness of the green eggs and ham. I love Sam I Am. But as an adult, I think we can really relate to this guy here the most, right? Like, how often do we avoid things because they're uncomfortable? Or do we procrastinate the things that we know we need to do because it's difficult? It's not easy, right? Maybe you have something like that right now that is coming to your mind that you're like, yes, I really need to make that phone call or respond to that email or send that message or have this conversation with a client or a colleague or whoever that may be, right? And maybe you've been avoiding it. Maybe it's been, something with your marketing. Maybe it's been, finding help with your fulfillment, whatever it may be for you in your business. Chances are there is something that you are avoiding or procrastinating or making much bigger, right, than it needs to be because it's difficult or uncomfortable. All right. What happens whenever our brains get into that mode? When our brains engage in flight or fight? The funny thing is about this is that once we make a decision and we act on it, the fight or flight stops. The fight or flight is actually not a problem, except when it's trying to keep us from doing whatever it is we need to do. All right. So what does this mean? Well, it means that the hardest time that you're going to have in taking specific actions and doing something difficult or uncomfortable is going to be in the lead up. It absolutely is going to be in the lead up. We have it in our heads, though. We convince ourselves, we deceive ourselves that the actual implementation of that is going to be difficult or painful or hard or uncomfortable, right? We think that the actual act is what's going to feel that way, and it's not. It's everything up until that point, okay? The reason why is because our brains are trying to protect us. It's trying to prevent us from going someplace that it says is unsafe, right? And so it's going to work like the dickens to keep us from doing the one thing that we need to do, all right? From making that phone call, having that conversation, sending that email, getting the webinar done, whatever it may be, doing a Facebook Live, right? Whatever it is that we need to do in our business, whether that's with marketing, fulfillment, sales, whatever that may be. It's always in the lead up that is the most difficult. And that's because our brain is working really, really hard to keep us from doing that thing. Doing that thing is actually way, way easier. Way, way easier. But our brain likes to trick us into believing that it's not. Okay? So, one of the things that I personally have found to be super, super helpful when this occurs, right? Because it happens to us all the time. All the time, things come up, right? Whether in our home life, managing our household, running our business, whatever it may be, things always come up when it's something that we're like, oh, I really don't want to have to deal with that, right? And so the one way that I have found, and maybe you have found other ways, so feel free to comment, share your learning lessons, share your experiences on here, okay? If you found things that have helped you with this. But for me personally, I have found asking myself 2 questions. Completely neutralize the fight or flight fear response that is so responsible for me avoiding and procrastinating and really spending a lot more time and energy, and that's really what this is about, just dwelling on something or having something in the back of my mind rather than just doing it, getting it done, and moving on, right? So those 2 questions. 1, am I putting myself in danger by doing this, by doing X, Y, or Z? Am I putting myself in danger? Well, I can tell you, so far, up until this point, 100% of the time, the answer to that has been no. I am not putting myself in any physical danger. My life is not going to be threatened by me doing this, right? Whatever this is. The second question is, am I putting anyone else in danger? Am I putting anyone else in harm's way? So far, the answer is 100% been no, I've not, right? So when I answer those questions, I'm like, I'm not in danger, not putting anyone else in danger, then I require myself to take action. And sometimes I will even tell myself that. I will even say to myself, and y'all may think this is a little funny or a little crazy, that's okay. This is how my brain responds and works. I will tell myself, look, I get that you're trying to protect me. I get that you're afraid of whatever this may be, but I don't need you to protect me. I've evaluated it. I've evaluated the risks. I'm not in danger and no one else is, so I'm going to do this. And you can follow along or you can be left behind, but I am doing this and nothing's stopping me. Okay? And a magical, miraculous, wonderful little thing happens. Hey, Phil. Hey, Michelle. Whenever I make that decision, when I say nothing's going to stop me, I am doing this, regardless of those feelings, regardless of the discomfort, regardless of the fear of what may or may not happen, when I do that, those feelings automatically go away. They're neutralized. When I take action, when I begin to take action, again, it's going to work so hard to keep me from taking that action. That's what my brain was designed to do. It's designed to keep me safe and protected. So if it thinks there's a threat, even if it's not a real threat, it's going to do whatever it can to keep me from doing that thing. So as soon as I have that awareness, as soon as I know that, then I don't have to let that fake fear, that fake threat, control my actions, control my decisions. All right? I can take action. I can do what I need to do, knowing that the fear will fall in line with my true feelings, with my true thoughts and intentions. All right? It will finally go away when it realizes that I'm not listening to it. Okay? And what this does is it not only allows you to make the progress that you need to make, right? Because a lot of times this has to do with, there's either, again, a conversation with a client or with a colleague, right? Or a post that we need to write that maybe we're nervous about the response, right? Whatever those things are that we need to do in our business, the progress that we need to make in our business, the things that we need to take action on to keep moving forward, to get to our goals. One, that's what it is. It's progress. It helps us to keep moving forward. But the other thing it does, even if it isn't a critical piece to our business, right? Doing a Facebook Live tomorrow may not completely make or break your goals this month, right? It may not be super critical to the progress that you need to make today, tomorrow, this week, this month. However, even when it's not directly correlated to progress that you need to make, it's still space taking up. It's still taking up space in your mind, in your emotions, in your energy. It is sucking the energy from you that can better be placed other places that where you absolutely need to make progress. Does that make sense? Michelle says, avoidance is my response to fear. Julio is my voice of reason. Yes, those questions are so good. We'll keep those in mind. Good. I'm glad that helps, Michelle. Try it. Try it next time and let me know if that actually helps you. All right. I know it helps me, but again, we all respond to things differently. And yes, absolutely. Avoidance is 100% majority of our responses to fear, right? Again, we were created that way. Our brain is wired to respond that way, but we're not, living in the wilderness anymore. And so we don't always need those survival mechanisms, right, anymore. But our brain hasn't necessarily caught up with that, right? So we have to be the one in charge, not let the fear be in charge, but we be in charge, right? And so, and one thing that you can do with that too, just to kind of piggyback off of that, Michelle, is getting in your mind a better fear, right? So one is everything that I've already shared. So if you're just joining, hey, Alan, welcome. If you're just joining, be sure to check the replay so you can hear what we've talked about up to this point. But the other second option that may help you is getting in your mind a better fear, right? You can eradicate fears with fears, right? So sometimes not all fear is bad. Not all fear is against you, right? And so the fear of, if I do not write this post, if I do not have this conversation with this client, right? We'll use that one as an example. Then what will happen with that client? Will they reach their goals, or will I be holding them back? Because I don't want to have this difficult conversation. Am I going to be an obstacle in their way because I'm afraid of how this may go down? How is that going to impact them, their family, their livelihood, their goals? How is that going to impact my client success rate, my reputation, right? All these things, my goals, my family. Get in your mind better fears. Fears of letting people down. Fears of not showing up. Fears of not being there when someone needed you most. Let those fears trump the little fears of, oh, but what if they don't like me? Or what if they, think that that's too personal for me to share, or I'm, something, whatever the fear may be, right? That you're afraid of, that pushes you into that avoidance procrastination mode. Get a better fear in mind, a fear that will eradicate that fear and move you to take action. All right. So those are some different things that you can do to get out of avoidance, get out of procrastination, do the things that you know you need to do so that you are not holding yourself up. You're not holding yourself back, right? And again, that may mean that those are the things that you absolutely must need to do to make the progress you want and need to make in your business. But it also may mean that it's just the stuff that you need to free up so that you have the focus, the energy, the drive, the motivation, the full attention to put into your business or your family or whatever it is, right? There's progress, but there's also freeing up that energy so that it can be better placed. All right. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Let me know in the comments. All right. Alex and I, this is all still in this new phase, and we want to know what is beneficial to you, what is helpful to you, what is it that you need, what is it that you want. So leave comments, leave feedback for us so that we know we're serving you where you need to be served the most. That's our heart. That's our desire. All right. And also, I have a little challenge for you guys today. All right. So if there is something, and I would venture to say that there's probably 99% of you, there is something in your life, whether in your business or just in general, that's taking up space, that's keeping you from your business, that you are avoiding, right? It may be a talk with your spouse or your partner. It may be a project with your kids. It may be something with your business and your marketing or your sales or your fulfillment or a colleague or a mentor or a client or whatever, right? Whatever that one thing is, think of one thing that's really weighing on you, that you've really been avoiding, that you know if you were to do that one thing, that it would make huge progress in your business, or it would free up the space and the energy so that you'd have more of yourself, the better of yourself to put into your business to make progress. Think of the one thing, all right? Share it with us below. You don't have to get into the weeds if you don't want to. If it's something, personal, like you get to determine how open and transparent you want to be here. Alex and I, we are committed to being completely open and transparent with you guys. But for you, you get to determine that level that's comfortable, that's good for you, okay? So share in the comments below on this video. Share one of the things that you've been avoiding, that you've been putting off, that you've been procrastinating because it's uncomfortable or you're afraid or it's difficult. Maybe you don't know how to do it. You don't know how to go about it, right? Share that. If you need help, let us know. This community is an awesome group of people. You guys are an amazing group of people, all right? So come around each other. Someone may have an idea that someone else doesn't, right? Let's contribute and collaborate together. And I'm going to challenge you to overcome that fear, overcome that avoidance in the next 24 hours. 24 hours, all right? That's all we're going to give this. And I haven't talked to Alex yet, but I'm thinking we're going to give away something. Maybe a book, maybe a Starbucks gift card, all right? I haven't even, I'm just coming up with this right now. So we're going to give away something, all right, to someone. Oh, Alan, I just saw your message here. Fear of not serving people properly has held you back from serving people. And it's worse that way. It's about me, whereas serving is always with them. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing, Alan, is that whenever we make it about us, those fears absolutely become stumbling blocks. But here's the thing. Those stumbling blocks aren't just our stumbling blocks. Those stumbling blocks are stumbling blocks for our clients, for our prospects, for the people out in the world who desperately need us and are waiting for us to show up and be present and be there for them, right? They've just been waiting for someone to help them. And when we get in our own way, when we allow it to become about us, then yeah, it's like it's all of a sudden, it becomes very fearful because we're afraid. We're afraid of what are people going to think about us, right? Are we going to be accepted or rejected? Like there's all of these different fears that come into play. But when we stop, and I'll tell you, I'll be completely transparent with you guys. Anytime I do a Facebook Live, I have a little bit of nervousness. I always have this moment of like, oh, I'm afraid. And you know what I do? I close my eyes and I stop and I think to myself, I say, this isn't about me. I don't care. I might stutter. I might get my words mixed up. I may, not communicate as clearly and, effectively as maybe I want to be. But you know what? This isn't about me. This is about them. And I literally will get in my mind that I am sitting there at a table, at a restaurant, or on a couch with you guys and just sharing, just being myself with you, as I have been with a lot of you before, right? And that helps me turn the focus away from me, right? Away from my fear of being imperfect. And it turns the focus to you guys. It turns my focus to my clients. It turns my focus to the people who are out there who need whatever message I have to share with them that day, right? And that immediately, and again, that plus just being willing to take action, hitting the go live button without overthinking it and saying, this is not about me, these are about these people. And I don't care if I'm imperfect or messed up. I care that I'm showing up and serving them and giving them something that they need today to get where they want to go, right? That trumps any fears whenever I make it about myself. But I'm really, really glad. I'm really glad, Alan, that you brought that up. That's such a good point, because that happens so often. When we make it about ourselves, we let those fears control us. And when we make it about others, which is how it should be, it very much kind of eradicates those fears. So I'm going to leave you guys with a challenge. 24 hours. 24 hours, all right? Or by the end of tomorrow. We'll do that by tomorrow night, all right? Leave a comment with what it is that you've been avoiding or procrastinating on, and then let us know when you do it. Let us know when you get it done. And if you need help, if you're not sure how to go about dealing with it or doing it, say that. Let us know. Let us come around you and collaborate with you and contribute to you, all right? So you can get past this, move past this, so it can stop taking up brain space and energy, and it can help you get more progress in your business. That's what this is about, all right? And for whoever does this, and maybe whoever we maybe we'll draw a name out of a hat for the people who do this. Maybe we'll see if someone gets the super duper group challenge award, overcoming something that was really difficult. And we're going to get you a book or a gift card or something. Like I said, I don't know what yet, but we're going to do something for you guys. All right. So participate in this. Get out of your comfort zone. Let us come around you so you are not in this alone. All right. And we will talk soon. Leave your comments and we'll pick somebody probably Thursday. Thursday we'll make the announcement.